The Old Whaling Company is a sea-inspired, East Cooper-style bath and body brand. And in this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sat down with the founder and owner, April Motley. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview next week on iHeartRadio. April Motley, it's so good to meet you.
Thank you. It's so great to see you.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Well, as you know, you are the founder and CEO of the Old Whaling Company, which is a hugely successful soap business. Obviously, you have locations on the city market and now in West Ashley.
Yes.
And I've been on your LinkedIn profile just early this morning, and it reads this. Old Whaling Company is a sea-inspired East Coast-style bath and body brand located in Charleston, South Carolina. Born out of the necessity to find healthier products for a family, a kitchen hobby was born. A hobby gave way to a dream. Drive and determination were the footsteps of our humble beginning. A few years later, we are a thriving business with steady growth and a solid plan for a very bright future. Our goal is to continue bringing our customers artisan quality, skin nurturing products, craft by hand, as well as creating local jobs and giving back to our amazing community. I gotta break all of this down.
Me too, because I wrote that a long time ago. I was like, wow, I wrote that? That sounds good.
It does indeed. And obviously, your particular company was founded in 2012.
Yes, sir.
What is the biggest difference between 2012 and right now in your mind?
Oh gosh. It really everything is different. From the, it can be as small as the actual products that we make to just, my day-to-day has completely changed. In 2012, really it was survival. It was trying to come off of food stamps. It was just, it was a means to survive. And now it's blossomed into this, beautiful, thriving thing.
Yeah, and you talk about this thing, and obviously it's a sea-inspired East Cooper-style bath and body brand. What is inspiring you these days, April?
What inspires me really is not just one thing. It's really a variety of things. It's, really on a daily basis we get, so much great feedback from our customers. And even the not good feedback is still inspiring because then we can make better choices and do things in different ways. But also just watching our team grow.
Yeah.
When you hire somebody, you never really quite know how it's going to go.
Right.
And then, a year later to see that person thriving and really doing something that they love, that's my favorite part.
And you talk about born out of necessity to find healthier products for family. I understand that your son, I believe, had eczema in 2009.
Right. When he was an infant, he had just ridiculously sensitive skin. And I thought that it was diaper rash for the longest time.
Right.
And, when you think it's diaper rash, you try to do all the things that you know to do, go to the store and get the stuff,
Right.
and nothing worked, and it was getting worse and worse. So we took him to the pediatrician, and at the time, she said that he had eczema, and she prescribed steroids, which is, I think, a pretty common treatment, but it just wasn't a route that I wanted to take, if at all possible. So I just started doing a lot of reading and learning at the library, and YouTube was just starting to get big. So the more that I learned about ingredients that went into products, the more it kind of started to click. And then I had a conversation with a pharmacist in the town that we lived in Ohio, and he basically informed me I was doing all the wrong things, stop buying all these things because they're just not going to work. And he told me, really, if you can learn to make your own soap, that's probably going to be your best bet. And I didn't even know you could make soap.
Right.
So, a few YouTube videos later, I began to piece things together, and I was never really that great at making soap. Not, not in the beginning. Even in the beginning of the business, I still wasn't that great at making soap. It's just something that came in time.
You talk about Ohio. What got you from Ohio to here in Charleston?
Well, I actually went through I split with my kid's dad, and I just wanted to live somewhere where I could just start over.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody, didn't have family here, just came.
And now you are a success. And as you mentioned also on LinkedIn that is, a few years later, we are a thriving business with steady growth and a solid plan for a very bright future. What is that plan right now, April?
The plan right now, so we just moved out of our small warehouse on Johns Island. We had about 2,400 square feet that we were bursting out of. Now we have an awesome 6,500 square foot manufacturing space in West Ashley. Our West Ashley store is now 1 year, well, it'll be 1 year old on Black Friday.
Right.
So we're in the middle of negotiating a lease for another store downtown, and we have our eye on a few different places in the area. And then, from there, probably outside of the Charleston area. We're also building a website, and hope to see a lot of our online orders have grown steadily over the years, but now that we are coming off of Etsy and having our own shop page, we hope to see a lot of activity from that too.
And you talk about that West Ashley location. What got you from the Charleston City Market to there?
Well, so that was actually the first, that in that neighborhood, I've lived there when I first moved to Charleston. I had a house right behind the Wendy's on St. Rittenberg. It was so close that I could smell the French fries. I had my windows open. So I was always really partial to that neighborhood, and I was driving my kids to basketball that winter, and there was this strip mall, and it just looked so sad and vacant. And I just thought, gosh, I should inquire about that place. And then a few months later, I saw somebody was fixing it up and renovating it. So I decided that was a sign, and I should reach out and, clicked with the landlord and made it happen.
And when you look at the Charleston City Market, when you started in 2012 to now, what is the biggest difference about the city market in your business?
Well, so one of the biggest differences is our physical location. When I first started in the market, as everybody who does now, you start in the night market. And then we moved to the daytime market, which was that was just a dream come true.
Wow.
And really that, once we got onto that daytime market list, I don't think I ever stopped working from that day forward. We were just there, we are there, still, 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah, I see the bags.
Oh,
yes.
And it's paid off. The market is really it can be really a springboard for your entire future if you embrace it for all that it is. There's nowhere, I would say probably in this whole area, that has the traffic that the city market does. And when people go home and they have your products in their hand, they are going to go to your website to find more, and they're going to follow you on social media and all those things. So, we have customers all over the country because of the city market.
That's so amazing. And I know that you talked earlier about taking your kids over to basketball, and you're juggling your business and brand. How do you juggle that? How do you juggle being a mom and an entrepreneur?
For me, it's not really separate like that. I know some people talk about work-life balance. For me, it's just kind of all one. My kids, my life as a mom and my life as a business owner, it's just, I really don't see it separate. So I'm always doing both. I mean, it's just, it works for us, it works for our family, and, you know, my kids learn a lot.
Oh,
They, you know, they're very interested in being business owners.
Yeah.
They're not really interested in Old Whaling Company, but they are interested in owning their own businesses when they get older, and it's, you know, it's cool to see them talk about that.
yeah. The Old Whaling Company, a sea-inspired East Cooper-style bath and body brand here in Charleston, South Carolina. What is that favorite soap that describes you?
My favorite soap is, actually, it's not one of our best sellers, it's our Bamboo Antique. And I love it. It's not really super feminine smelling. It's not like, it doesn't have a masculine scent.
Right.
It's just kind of like in the middle, and it has a really gritty pumice powder in it,
Yeah.
which is really nice and exfoliating
Yeah.
after a long day of work.
Right.
So that's my personal favorite.
Wow. And as I mentioned earlier, obviously I'm working on the markets 6 days a week. It's probably going to be 7 coming up soon. But every day I see people walking away with your soap products and your bags.
That's great.
Oh yes, absolutely. When people go back home, what do you want them to say about the Old Whaling Company?
Well, I want them to enjoy our products, but I also want them to remember the way we treated them. You know, there's some experiences out there that can leave a lot to be desired, and I don't want their interaction with us to stand out in a negative way.
Sure.
And when we do hear that, you know, we take it to heart,
Right.
and we use it to improve. But I would say most of the time they remember the way we treated them and the way that we cared.
That is so great to hear. Yes, ma'am. Well,
Thank you.
you're absolutely welcome. Yeah. Well, April Lee Motley, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you so much, Quintin. It was a pleasure.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.